Let me hit you with some truth. Nobody's coming to save you. Not your friends, not your boss, not the internet cheering you on. The world doesn't owe you success. You want it? You better show up for it. Every single day. Stop waiting for someone to notice your potential. Start acting like it's real. Nobody cares, and that's your greatest gift. Because the moment you stop looking for validation is the moment you start taking control. Now it's just you, your grind, and what you're willing to do about it. You keep waiting. Waiting for someone to notice the effort you're putting in. Waiting for someone to pat you on the back and say, hey, I see you. But guess what? Nobody's coming. Nobody's watching you like you think they are. The truth is, people are too busy with their own lives, their own problems, their own chaos, to care about what you're doing every second of the day. That may sound harsh, but it's actually freeing. Because if nobody cares right now, that means you don't need permission to go all in. You don't have to wait until someone claps for you before you take your next step. You can stop worrying about being seen. Stop waiting for validation. Stop holding yourself hostage for applause that may never come. Start moving now. It's a hard pill to swallow. This idea that nobody owes you encouragement, but it's also a truth that will set you free. You've been holding back because deep down, you want someone to give you a green light. You think you need support before you can be successful. You think someone has to believe in you before you can believe in yourself. And that's where most people stay stuck. They wait for external permission to pursue internal goals. But the people who win, they don't wait. They move. They act. They bet on themselves when no one else does. They're too busy building to worry about who's watching. They know that the most powerful approval is the one they give themselves. Every successful person you admire once walked alone. They had days where they questioned everything, nights where no one texted back, moments when the room was quiet and the path was blurry, and yet they moved anyway. That's the difference. That's the secret. It's not magic. It's not some perfect plan handed to them. It's a decision to act even when no one's clapping, a decision to push forward even when no one's cheering, a decision to be their own source of motivation because they understood something critical, that waiting to be noticed is the fastest way to stay invisible. They chose action over attention. When you finally realize that nobody's going to hand you your dream, not your parents, not your friends, not the internet, that's the moment you grow up. That's the moment everything shifts. You stop asking, why isn't anyone helping me? And you start asking, how can I help myself? That question changes the game. Because the truth is, most people aren't against you. They're just focused on their own survival. And you can waste time resenting that, or you can use it to fuel your own hustle. Let it be the spark. Let it be the reason you go all in. Let the silence push you, not stop you. There's something powerful about being underestimated, about being ignored, about being overlooked. Most people crumble under that kind of pressure, but the strong ones, they use it. They use the quiet to sharpen their skills. They use the doubt to build resilience. They stop waiting to be chosen and choose themselves instead. Because when nobody believes in you and you keep going, that's strength. That's self-leadership. Anyone can move when there's applause. But the ones who succeed, they move in silence. They grind in the dark. They know the results will speak loud enough when it's time. You don't need the spotlight to get started. In fact, the spotlight is often a distraction. It puts pressure on you to look like you have it all together, even when you don't. But in the shadows, that's where you get to experiment. That's where you get to fail without judgment. That's where you get to become dangerous because you're growing quietly while everyone else is waiting to be seen. And one day they'll look up and wonder how you got there. They'll call you an overnight success, but you'll know better. You'll know it was all those nights no one noticed that built you. So stop refreshing your notifications. Stop measuring your worth by how many people are paying attention. Start measuring your growth by how consistent you are when no one's watching. Because discipline in the dark creates results in the light. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful. It's not loud, but it's effective. Every time you show up for yourself, you're planting seeds. You're building muscle. You're proving that you don't need applause to keep moving. You just need a vision, a reason, a why that matters more than likes and more than followers. You need you. You've got to be honest with yourself. Are you working for recognition or transformation? Because those are two different paths. Recognition fades, but transformation lasts. If you're doing this to be seen, you'll burn out fast. But if you're doing it to change your life, to fulfill your potential, to become the version of you that you know is inside, you'll keep going, even when no one's looking. That's what matters. That's where the fire comes from. Not from being noticed, but from knowing you're becoming something stronger, something real, something unstoppable when nobody cares. It forces you to find out if you care. And that's everything. That's the whole game. Do you care enough to keep going without support? Do you believe in your mission enough to carry it alone for a while? If the answer is yes, then you're already ahead. Because that kind of inner commitment, it's rare and it's powerful. You can't fake it. You can't borrow it. You've got to build it brick by brick, day by day, failure by failure, win by win. That's how legends are made. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows where the real work happens. Nobody cares. And that's okay. In fact, it's better than okay. It means you're free to experiment, to fall down and get back up without the world watching. It means you're not performing, you're growing. You're not entertaining, you're evolving. The absence of attention gives you space. Space to figure it out. Space to make mistakes. Space to learn what works and what doesn't. So stop fearing the silence, embrace it. Let it be your lab, your training ground, your advantage. Because when you're not trying to impress anyone, that's when you make real progress. You don't need motivation, you need movement. You need to wake up, take a breath, and put your feet on the ground, regardless of how you feel. You don't need someone to pump you up. You need to show up, even when it sucks, even when you're tired, even when it feels pointless, because eventually the results will catch up. But they don't show up for the dreamers. They show up for the doers, the ones who keep moving through the fog, through the doubt, through the silence. And if you're willing to do that, you're already miles ahead of most. Keep going. You tell yourself you're tired, that you're too busy, that you'll start tomorrow. But let's be real. Those aren't reasons. They're just excuses. And every excuse you make feels valid in the moment because your brain is a master negotiator. It can make anything sound logical, but deep down, you know the truth. You're not tired. You're unmotivated. You're not too busy. You're distracted. And the worst part, you believe your own lies. You accept them as facts instead of what they really are. Fear in disguise. Fear of failing. Fear of judgment. Fear of stepping into your full potential and not knowing what comes next. Excuses are comfortable. They keep you safe. They let you off the hook when things get hard. You don't have to risk anything if you stay stuck. You don't have to face rejection if you don't try. But comfort is a trap. It's dressed up like logic and wrapped in good reasons, but all it's doing is slowing you down. Every excuse steals time you'll never get back. Every excuse builds a habit of quitting on yourself. And you're better than that. You know you are. You were built for more than just surviving your days and making peace with mediocrity. You were built to win, but winning doesn't come with excuses. You say it's not the right time. You say you need to wait until things are more stable. But when has life ever been stable? When has everything ever lined up perfectly? Never. That moment doesn't exist. There will always be something: stress, bills, people, doubts. If you wait for the perfect moment, you'll wait forever. The time is never going to feel right. That's the test. Do you want it bad enough to start when it's hard? Because if you can take action when it's messy, you'll dominate when things are smooth. Starting messy is better than not starting at all. You say you're not ready, but not ready is often just code for I don't believe in myself yet. You're afraid you'll mess it up, so you avoid starting. You think if you just had more confidence, then you'd be able to go all in. But that's not how confidence works. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes from action. You build it every time you do the thing you're scared of. You build it every time you show up, even when you're unsure. Waiting to feel ready is just another excuse. You don't need to be ready. You just need to be willing. You say you don't have time, but you've watched the shows, you've scrolled the apps, you've said yes to things that didn't serve you. You do have time. It's just not going to your goals. And that's not judgment, that's honesty. You will never find time. You have to make time. And making time requires discipline. It means saying no to good things so you can say yes to great ones. It means choosing growth over comfort. Your schedule reflects your priorities, even when you don't like what it says. And the power to change that? It's in your hands right now. You tell yourself you don't have the energy, but energy isn't just physical. It's emotional and mental too. And do you know what drains your energy the most? Avoiding the things you know you need to do. That internal resistance is exhausting. Procrastination might feel good in the moment, but it robs you of momentum. And momentum is everything. You don't wait for energy to take action. You take action to build energy. Move your body. Do the work. Watch how momentum starts to build. You don't need to feel like it. You just need to do it. That's where your power lives. You say other people have it easier, that they had better opportunities, that they had support, and maybe they did. But that's irrelevant to your journey. Comparing stories won't move you forward. Wishing things were different won't build your future. You don't need anyone else's path. You need to walk your own. And yes, it might be harder. Yes, you might have to grind more. But that just means your story will inspire even more people. Own your disadvantages. Let them make you resourceful. Let them build your resilience. You don't need easy. You need possible. And everything you want is still possible. You tell yourself it's too late, that you missed your chance, that you should have started years ago. But here's the truth. You didn't start back then because you weren't ready. Not mentally, not emotionally, not spiritually, but you're ready now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be thinking about it every single day. Stop letting the past hold your present hostage. You can't change what you didn't do, but you can control what you do next. Every day you delay is another day you hand over to regret. Start now. You'll thank yourself in a year, or you'll wish you had. The choice is always yours. You say you don't know how, but you figured out things before. You weren't born knowing how to walk or talk or drive or text. You learned because you had to, because you wanted to, because you were willing to look dumb and try again. It's the same with anything else. Stop overthinking it. You don't need to know every step. You just need to take the next one. Google it, try it, fail, adjust. That's how success works. Not in giant leaps, in consistent steps taken by people who refuse to quit. You're more capable than you give yourself credit for. The truth is, most people don't succeed because they're not willing to be uncomfortable long enough. They want change, but they don't want challenge. They want results, but they don't want resistance. But discomfort is the price of growth, and the longer you avoid it, the longer you delay your greatness. Every excuse is just an exit ramp off the highway of your potential. But if you stay on the road, if you push through the mental noise, the doubts, the fears, you'll start to see progress, and progress is addictive. It's proof that you're becoming the person you were meant to be. Excuses feel good temporarily. They give you relief. They protect your ego, but they cost you your future. You've got to be ruthless about the stories you tell yourself. If it's not moving you forward, it's holding you back. And that doesn't mean being hard on yourself. It means being honest. Self-respect means calling yourself out when you're playing small. It means choosing discipline over distraction. It means doing what you said you'd do even when the mood is gone. That's real power. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. You don't need more time. You need more truth. If you really love yourself, I mean truly love yourself, you stop letting your feelings run the show. You stop breaking promises to yourself. You stop negotiating your goals every time life gets a little uncomfortable. Discipline isn't a punishment. It's proof that you matter to you. Because love isn't just soft words and self-care Sundays. Real love is doing the hard things when no one is watching. It's showing up when you'd rather quit. It's making choices today that will make your life better tomorrow. That's what self-respect looks like in action. That's how you build real confidence, not by wishing, by doing. Most people think motivation is the key, but motivation is a liar. It's not there when you need it most. Motivation disappears when you're tired, when you're stressed, when things go wrong. But discipline, that's steady. That's dependable. Discipline is what keeps you going when your mood has left the building. It's what gets you up before the sun. It's what helps you say no to distractions. It's what pushes you to keep your word. Discipline is the highest form of love because it demands more from you. It doesn't let you settle. It doesn't let you stay average. It pulls you toward your potential. The version of you that has everything you want, that version didn't get there with good intentions and halfway effort. They got there with discipline, with sacrifice, with uncomfortable choices. They didn't rely on feeling ready. They relied on consistency. Every day they showed up, even when it was hard, even when no one clapped, even when they were tired. That's how you change your life. Not by waiting for permission, but by proving to yourself that you can count on you. That's where your power is. That's where your identity shifts. That's when you stop talking and start becoming. Think about how you show up for people you care about. You're dependable. You keep your promises. You go out of your way to help them. But when it comes to yourself, you make excuses. You break commitments. You let yourself down. That's not love. That's neglect. And you wouldn't tolerate it from anyone else. So why tolerate it from yourself? Discipline flips that. It's you showing yourself the same loyalty you give others. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent, about holding yourself to a standard, even when no one else does. That's how you earn your own respect. There's this lie we're sold that discipline is restrictive, that it takes away your freedom. But the truth is, discipline creates freedom. Freedom to live life on your terms. Freedom to wake up without regret. Freedom to choose long-term peace over short-term pleasure. When you have discipline, you don't live at the mercy of your moods or your cravings. You don't have to rebuild your life every Monday. You move with clarity, with intention, with momentum, and that momentum compounds. It builds confidence. It builds trust. It builds a life you're proud of, one day at a time. You want to feel better? Get disciplined. You want to believe in yourself? Get disciplined. You want to stop doubting every decision and start owning your life? Get disciplined. Because discipline kills doubt. It removes the chaos. It gives you control. You stop waking up anxious because you already know you've been showing up. You've been doing the work. You've been honoring your word. That changes how you see yourself. That changes how you talk to yourself. That changes what you expect from yourself. Suddenly, average isn't good enough. Suddenly, you're aiming higher, and that's how you grow. Too many people think they'll feel confident once they hit their goals, but it's backwards. Confidence doesn't come from the result, it comes from the process. From the early mornings, from the silent reps, from the moments where you choose discipline over ease. That's where self-belief is born. Because every time you show up for yourself, even in small ways, you're building evidence. Evidence that you're not a quitter, that you're not weak, that you can count on you. And that belief, that inner proof, no one can take that from you. It becomes part of who you are. T's not about being the most talented. It's not about being the smartest. It's not about having the best resources. It's about who's the most disciplined. That's the equalizer. That's the one thing you can control. You can't control luck. You can't control the timing, but you can control how consistent you are. You can control whether you keep your word. You can control whether you show up when it's hard. And if you keep doing that, if you stay locked, and even when no one notices, the results will come. They have to, because discipline always pays off. Always. Start treating discipline like a gift, not a burden. It's not there to limit you. It's there to elevate you, to protect your vision, to keep you on track when everything around you is trying to pull you off course. Discipline is your anchor in chaos. It's your compass when you're lost. It's your fuel when motivation dies. You can't fake it. You can't shortcut it. You build it every day. You choose purpose over impulse. Every day you choose the goal over the excuse. That's how you win. Quietly, consistently, relentlessly, until one day people ask how you did it, and the answer is simple: discipline. Nobody's coming to hand you a better life. No one is going to force you to change. That part's on you. And that's not a curse. That's a blessing, because it means you don't have to wait. You don't have to hope. You don't have to rely on chance. You decide. You create your future through the choices you make when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's inconvenient. That's the battlefield. That's where you earn everything. And when you finally start choosing discipline, not because you have to, but because you want to, because it's how you prove your love for yourself, that's when everything changes. The more you focus on what everyone else is doing, the more power you give away. Every scroll, every comparison, every silent judgment, it pulls your energy in 1,000 directions. You start measuring your worth by someone else's progress. You start questioning your timing, your process, your pace. That noise becomes so loud you can't even hear your own voice anymore. But here's the truth. Your path is yours. It won't look like anyone else's because it's not supposed to. The more you look around, the more you forget to look within. And inside you, that's where the real magic is. That's where focus begins. That's where your breakthrough lives. When you're always watching other people, you stop creating and start consuming. You become a spectator in your own life. And spectators don't win. Spectators clap. Spectators doubt. Spectators dream while others do. You weren't made to sit in the stands. You were made to play, to sweat, to grind, to go after the vision that keeps you up at night. But you can't chase it if your eyes are on someone else's lane. You'll trip every time. You'll lose your rhythm. You'll waste your best years comparing your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 10. Stop scrolling. Stop watching. Lock in. Run your race. Focusing on yourself is not selfish, it's necessary. Because when you finally stop pouring all your energy into everyone else's life, you get to build your own. You get to take that power back and redirect it where it matters. Your goals, your habits, your health, your dreams. The most successful people, they're not watching the crowd. They're not clapping for everyone else 24/7. They're too busy building, too busy grinding, too busy growing. And when you do the same, something shifts. You stop chasing validation. You stop needing applause. You move for you. And that's when things really start to take off. You don't owe the world explanations for choosing yourself. You don't have to apologize for going quiet, for protecting your energy, for saying no to things that don't serve your vision. Not everyone will understand your journey, and they don't need to. Your mission is yours. Your goals are yours, and they require your full attention. That means fewer distractions, fewer opinions, fewer detours. It means shutting out the noise and tuning into your purpose. The more you respect your time, your focus, your priorities, the more the right things start to align. But it all starts with you. Comparison is poison. It tricks you into thinking you're behind. It convinces you that what you've done isn't enough, that you're not enough. But most people only show the highlight reel, the wins, the filtered moments. You never see the pain, the doubt, the failures, the years of work behind the scenes, and yet you compare your whole self to their surface. That's not fair to you, it's not real, it's not useful. The only person you should be competing with is who you were yesterday. Are you better, sharper, stronger? That's what matters. That's how you grow, quietly, daily, for you. Focus isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters. It's about trimming the fat, cutting the noise, and getting clear on what's essential. You can't master your life if your attention is scattered. You can't build something extraordinary if you're distracted every 5 minutes. Focus is a skill, one you build by saying no. No to people pleasing. No to overcommitting. No to everything that doesn't move the needle. Every yes you give is a trade. You're giving away your time, your energy, your future. So ask yourself, is it worth it? If it's not helping you grow, let it go. When you focus on you, you start to see your power clearly. You start to notice how far you've come. You start to take ownership of your progress, the kind no one claps for, but matters more than anything. You begin to realize that the real flex isn't being liked. It's being disciplined. It's having peace. It's being so aligned with your purpose that the outside world becomes irrelevant. You're not chasing trends. You're chasing truth. You're not driven by fear. You're driven by vision. And that kind of power, that kind of clarity, it only comes when you stop looking around and start looking inward. You've got one life, one chance, and you don't get it back. So how long are you going to waste it watching someone else's story? How long will you wait to start living yours? You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start, to decide, to commit. Your potential isn't out there. It's in you. It's been there this whole time, waiting for you to pay attention. Waiting for you to shut out the world and get to work. Because when you do, you'll be shocked at what you're capable of. This world will always try to distract you. The algorithms, the opinions, the pressure to perform. And if you're not intentional, you'll get lost in it. You'll wake up 10 years from now wondering what happened to your dreams. That's why focus is your superpower. That's why protecting your peace isn't optional, it's essential. Block the noise. Limit the input. Choose your circle carefully. Be ruthless with your time, because your life is shaped by what you give your attention to. And if you want a life that's extraordinary, it starts with focus, with discipline, with protecting your mission at all costs. Success isn't loud. It's not flashy. It's built in the quiet hours, the lonely moments, the days when no one's watching but you keep going anyway. That's what focus looks like. It's saying no to distractions so you can say yes to purpose. It's being obsessed with your own progress instead of someone else's timeline. It's betting on yourself every single day. You won't always feel motivated. You won't always feel inspired. But if you stay focused, if you keep your eyes on your own paper, you will win. Not overnight, not easily, but inevitably, because focus always finishes what doubt starts.